What is up, all you beautiful PokéNoob fans? We got a great episode for you today. I'm your host, PokéNoob, or Keegan, and I got my two co-hosts as usual, Jill.
Hello.
And Ian.
What's up?
So we're going to go through our normal order of events as usual. We got a pretty exciting episode for you today. Our main gist of the show in TCG Talk, we're going to be going over our personal favorite decks from our online play on PTCGO. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty exciting episode for you guys, but we're going to roll right into our first segment of the day. We got Poke News of the Week with Ian.
So, on this week of Pokemon News, we have Steve Aoki, an American entertainer, DJ, record producer, and music executive, who has raised over $60,000 for a number of charities through a base Pokemon box break Twitch stream. So, during the stream, which took place on November 15th, Aoki was joined by co-host Gary King Pokemon Hase of Pawn Stars fame and his wife, who was introduced as Queen Pokemon. The pack opening panel was rounded out with the addition of Josh, the collector who had so graciously donated a ridiculously rare $19.99 unlimited base set booster box for the opening. Steve then went on to reach out to 36 other prominent community members, including the likes of Leon Hart, Super Duper Danny, and Unlisted Leaf, alongside other PokeFan celebrities such as Logic and Rob Kardashian. So what ended up happening during this live stream was something pretty cool. So they opened up the contents of the packs, and they found some pretty high value cards, including a Chansey, Mewtwo, back-to-back Venusaurs, and they ended up unraveling a Charizard as well, which a PSA 10 unlimited base set Charizard can still fetch a pretty good price, around $10,000, so it was a really good pull, to say the least. After the stream had ended, Aoki had then posted a short clip on Twitter summarizing the event, in which he updates the total raised to over $130,000. So this will go to the Aoki Foundation, All In for Autism, the Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute, and several other organizations that also focus on support for people with autism.
So yeah, that's awesome. The fact that they're donating all that money to so many different charities and organizations. Like, I feel like just all those that you named alone are very good reasons to donate that money to. But over 130,000 is crazy. They must have pulled some really good cards there. And I find it awesome how people like Logic and then some really big YouTube names, Leon Hart, and then even the king of Pokemon, the guy from Pawn Stars, Gary, he's the god of Pokemon. So it was really cool how something like that, they all got together and, kind of did what Dumb Money Live TV did, but even better, in my opinion.
Yeah, actually got a successful stream out of it.
Really nice, too, that after the problem with the Dumb Money Live TV stream and the drama that ensued with that, it is nice to see that it actually worked out this time around. No hate towards Dumb Money, of course, just a really unfortunate situation. But either way, the gist of it all is that the money being raised it gives me a good heartwarming feeling. I don't know about you guys, but these big people getting into Pokemon and using its popularity to be able to reach out and support other people who are in need, it just warms my heart.
Yeah, it really is a cool thing. And for people like Steve Aoki, he's a DJ, record producer. It's cool for him to kind of switch out of his normal, way of making his own money to go to something a little bit more fun and kind of spread out to new people, new fans. So that's awesome. And yeah, no hate on Dumb Money Live TV, it wasn't their fault. But it's good to see, when things like this actually work out, it can be a really great thing. Got any other words, Jill, there?
I think you and Ian both made really good points. I do agree that it's awesome to see big people, big names coming in and raising money for charity instead of just kind of using, just buying Pokemon cards as a flex, because there's people like us out here that would love to have some really cool cards, and, these people do have a lot of money that they can spend on these cards. But, yeah.
How about you, Ian?
No, I mean that's really it. I'm just hoping we see more and more of this. We started off our first stream talking about Logic, getting into it and purchasing, or spending a lot of money for some really good cards to give to his kid. And it's good that now he's helping other people as well. And I'm glad to see more people are getting involved and not just doing it for the popularity. They're using the popularity to help others.
Yeah, and as you can see, Logic kind of evolved a bit more too, you know. It's not just that one Charizard card. He's doing a lot more for the Pokemon community and these other charities, so that's really cool too for him to be back into this. But yeah, I mean, yet again, that's just awesome that it actually worked out and everything, you know, they made a lot of money. Charizards were pulled, you know, that's all you need to know. But yeah, that was pretty awesome for Poke News of the week. Up next, we have a pretty exciting thing going on with On the Hunt with Jill. She found a really sweet Etsy shop here that do some very cool cards. So, what you got today, Jill?
Okay, so for this week for On the Hunt, I found this really awesome Etsy shop. It's probably one of my favorites that I've ever came across. It's called Wild Pets Creations. And the woman that runs the shop, her name's Stephanie, and she does custom Pokemon art cards. But the reason I'm drawn to this is because she mainly does like pet Pokemon cards, and they're just really adorable. I was even thinking about doing, a couple with Jirachi, just because, he's Jirachi. He's already a little Pokemon himself. But she does these really awesome hollow custom cards where, again, she can take, and not only pets. I've seen a couple that had like she does like trainer cards where she does people, and then they do whatever they can request what they want the training card to say. But I really like the hollow ones. There's tag team cards. One of them that I really like that I saw that she did one with somebody's dog and a Vulpix. And, then you do their moves. Like this one says, cuddle, snuggly attack that heals all damage taken. Nullifies any further stress or confusions for 2 turns. So it's really personalized to what, you want it to say, especially when you do with your animal. There's a cat one. The cat's name is Storm. And one of his moves is Judgmental Glare. Storm judges the opponent's harshly removing all energy cards attack. Opponent feels ashamed of itself. So they're just really cute, and I don't know, I like I said, I really, really like them. I really like the hollow ones that she does, and she does it all herself, and it goes into more detail on her shop about how she does it, prints it out, and adds the hollow to the cards. There's also regular cards. As I mentioned, there's trainer cards, the tag team. She does full art cards, evolution cards of your, again, animals. I see ones of dogs where it's their puppy, and then, them as an adult. And yeah, I just really love it. I love the customization. The art's really cute.
Yeah, I was gonna say the evolution set looks like a lot of fun. If you could get that, and the holographics she does are really nice, but I just like how, you can get, for example, Jirachi, you can get a little pug puppy Jirachi, and then you can get the second or the first stage and the second stage, and it'd be cool if you could get them all holographic. But we were even thinking if we could get because they do people too, so we could get a tag team of me, Jill, and Jirachi or something, or the PokéNoob podcast, me, Jill, and Ian. That'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, these are really cool products. I'm definitely thinking about getting something like this in the future. Really cool gifts if you have people
Yeah,
that love
like Christmas
Pokemon.
is coming up, you can definitely, and it does that I read some of the reviews, and it does say that she does work pretty quickly. Mostly from like 5 to 10 days. She can get back to you on what you want, and like I said, it's all fully customizable. You can choose what type, what the moves are, whatever you want, the name, how much hit points it has. And yeah, I don't know, I'm so happy I came across this shop because I'm really expecting to get one of these for Jirachi in the future.
Yeah, like who wouldn't want to see a hollow Jirachi card with like the foot trap move because he's always biting our feet. But yeah, this is some really cool stuff, and like Jill was saying, I'm sure she's really able to work with you for custom orders and everything like that, and really open to all the different things you can do. So it is a little, pricey, but I think it's definitely worth the price because this is a lot of work being put into, and it's something that's really unique. Got any opinions on these, Ian?
I love this kind of stuff too. So I'm just looking through a bunch of the cards that she has done, and some of these are hilarious. It's a really good gift, especially for any type of Pokemon fan. But in particular, I keep finding these photos from reviews, and I see one which is the Noah Roberts GX. He has 800 HP, and his only move is Beatbox GX. I can't see what exactly the move does. I believe it paralyzes it, but this type of stuff is hilarious, and it's really really well thought out. And then Joe, I think you were talking about this one off stream, but the other one that gets me is the Burning Man. He's the legendary human Pokemon, and his first move is Shun, and if heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed and ashamed of itself. Like, this is a really good idea. A lot of people really seem to love it, and I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, I feel like it's something really fun you could do with your pets or even friends, just because you can make the moves something about them or related to them, and it's just like something quirky and fun to hold on to. Imagine if you got it graded to get a PSA 10 on that.
That'd be
That-
amazing.
Yeah, that'd be something really cool and fun to collect. But yeah, like I was saying, Joe, that was something really cool to bring to the table for On the Hunt today. Check them out on Etsy, guys. That's Wild Pet Creations or Wild Pets Creations. Her name is Steph. So yeah, be sure to check that out. She does have like 5 stars completely on this shop too because, everybody's really happy with this work. But yeah, cool stuff. Now we're gonna roll into our main part of the day. We got TCG talk. As I was saying earlier, we're gonna be going over what our favorite decks are online, the decks we like to use, the decks we like to destroy each other and other online people with, or sometimes not. But these are the PokéNoob decks. We're gonna start with Jill's Fire deck. This is an expanded deck, but what's in here, Jill? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so this is probably the first deck I've ever made, and went through with it, and I'm still, adjusting it and tweaking all the little bits out, especially because I want to get into getting more trainers and less energy. I did the standard 20-20-20, but it does work for me. I have a good amount of wins with this deck, and I play it a lot, so yeah, I have, not going to go into my full list of everything I have, but I want to just mention some of the main cards I use. I have a Moltres card, which I love using because it has the assisting heater, which is great when you have it as the first card you put on your bench or on your active spot, because when you have other Pokemon on your bench, it does, I believe, 20 or 30 damage, and then it puts another fire energy card on any of your bench Pokemon, so it can help set them up really quickly. It's similar to Volcanion in the Centiskorch deck that I use, and unfortunately I don't have any of them in here, but that's the card I like to have out first if you can. I also have a Torkoal V, which we've talked about before, and we already know its moves, but, that's always really good to have. I try to set that up when I can to put down those energies on it, and then take off energy from the active Pokemon. It does, it works really well. I have 2 Reshiram and Charizard cards, the tag team. And of course, I mean, that card is just crazy. Its first move does 30 plus the amount of damage counters that are on the Pokemon itself. So if that card's in and you're at, say, like 190 on Reshiram and Charizard, and then you do that like with the 30. You're doing a lot of damage. It's kind of a pain card to deal with. And I have times where people have seen that I had both of them out and just conceded because, it's a powerful card and its other moves. Yeah, its other move does 230 damage. And I mean, you can't use the next turn, but if that Pokemon that's up,
It's a scary card.
if it's something higher, if it can survive the 230, they do damage on you, and if you're still surviving because you have 270 with Reshiram and Charizard, you can do even more damage and knocking out that Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a good tanky bounce back type card.
Yeah, and I also have some non like GX and V Pokemons. I have some Cinderace with Raboot and Scorbunny. I have 2 of each in my deck, just because there is sometimes where effectiveness from Vs and GXs or against other cards say that your opponent's playing, so it's good to have, not all the big buff guys on there. I also have some Charmanders, Charmeleons, and Charizards. I have Charizard GX, 2 of those cards. Wanted to get the one Charizard card. I don't know what set it's from, but it did come with the Battle Academy box that
Yeah,
we
the
have.
Burning Flames deck, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, and that one has you can keep attaching energy, and once that's up, it's a pain to get rid of because you keep attaching, you discard energy for your move, but then you can attach cards with its ability, so it's almost impossible. I'm thinking about even switching that out for the GX because the GX does cost a lot of energy. Most of these cards do, unfortunately, but that's also why I have a lot of energies in my deck. Some of the trainer cards that I have that I really like, I have a Burning Scarf, which you can add to one of your Pokemon, and it burns them once they attack you. So it's really helpful to just get some extra damage on them, even if they knock you out. They're still getting hit with that damage. I have Welders. I have 3 of them in this deck. Again, another good card that works with the fire because how to attach that energy on, you have a welder. You can, if you have 3 energies in your hand and you attach an energy to one of your Pokemon, you can use the welder to attach 2 more energies, so you can already set up these cards. And again, most of these big ones, require 4 fire energies to do their big moves, so it's really helpful to have them in there. I also have a blacksmith. I believe these are out of format. That's why, this is some of these cards are, but in my standard deck. But that's also helpful too because that gets the energy out of your discard pile. So if one of these big guys go out, you can get a blacksmith and put him in your hand and get energy out of that and put them on your Pokemon. I also have, I'm trying to look what the name, I believe it's the Teammates card, which I really like. It's another trainer. If your Pokemon gets knocked out, it allows you to pick any 2 cards from your deck. You can pick any 2 cards and put them in your hand, so your next turn, so, I can see, okay, they knocked this Pokemon out, and I have this one getting set up, so I can know, oh, well, maybe I don't have a welder in my hand, and I can really use that, so then the next turn I play, I can use the welder and attach the energy that I need to make my move. I have, the basic energy switch, energy retrievals. I have, I don't want to butcher the name, the Lysandre, I believe it is, card, which makes you, I believe, switch your opponent's active Pokemon with whatever Pokemon that you want, which is always helpful too because
Expanded boss's orders.
Yeah. You can use that card again to if you see somebody on your bench or on their bench that either don't have, they're not putting energy on, and you know you can get them to knock them out. You just switch that in, do what you gotta do, and get out. I have for my energy, a heat energy, which I believe adds uh, HP onto the Pokemon. I think it's 20. I have draw energy, which, it's just a basic energy, but it helps draw a card, which is always useful. And, yeah, that's pretty much a basic rundown of my deck. And like I said, I really like trying to get the Mole Trace out to help set up. My main fighters that I like to use are Torkoal. I also like to use Houndoom, which I don't think we've talked about yet, but I really like his first move is a burn move, and then his second move is if there's any damage on any of your bench Pokemon, it does 90 plus another 90, I believe. Or maybe it's 100, but you get the point. And yeah, I mean, obviously, too, Reshiram and Charizard are really helpful, but those are the main few cards I like to try to fight with and myself up there.
Yeah, if I were to say anything about your fire deck, I mean, now that you're using the Scorch VMAX deck standard, there's a lot of cards from there that you could start throwing into this deck. Volcanion, like you were saying, maybe more heat energy. You got more bosses orders to throw into there too. And then another thing is you have a lot of firepower in here, a lot of things doing a lot of big damage. Maybe even cut back on some of the Pokemon sometime soon, because personally I don't think you need all of that. I mean, you're just having fun on expanded and all, but if you want, you could even
Yeah,
throw a lot more trainers in there too.
yeah, because I haven't even really touched this deck in a little bit as of adjusting it, but I have opened up. When I was getting coins for our theme battle from last week, I had ended up getting a lot of coins to get packs for online, and I still haven't even used them up yet. So there's always that getting, and I've also again now that I have the Scorch deck, I have some cards that I can use because I do want to eventually adjust my trainers, and some of these cards that I don't really use that much. I mean, I have a Score Bunny. I think it's a Score Bunny V, and I don't really use that card. I don't have the V Max for
Cinderace.
Cinderace. Sorry, Cinderace V. I don't really use that card. I mean, it's an okay card. I don't. Like I said, I don't have the V Max for it either. So I don't know how that is with the VMAX, but it only does 140 damage with 3 energy, and it's not really a card I look for. Like I said, my main guys are Torkoal, Moltres to get him down at first, Houndoom, and then, Reshiram are the main boys of this group.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall, I think, with fire, you have a lot of options to go. There's a lot of ways you can throw out a whole bunch of energy out at once. So, it's a lot of fun to play this kind of deck. But, yeah, I mean, like you were saying, you have a lot of big attackers in there, and you could probably cut down on some energy too, and then throw in more welders, maybe some quick balls or something, and extra bosses orders just to kind of work the game more towards your way even more. But yeah, I like this deck a lot. Got anything on this fire stove over here, Ian?
I mean, it looks pretty solid to me. It looks a lot more solid and structured than my deck does, that's for sure.
Well, speaking of your deck, what do you got, Ian?
So, for my deck, I ended up bringing a whole slew of cards. I can be quite honest and blunt in saying that I do not believe that this is a very amazing deck. I just threw a bunch of stuff in and worked with it as I used it. So far, it's been treating me well. I've got more wins than I do have losses, so that's good, I guess. But
Positive ratio, nice.
yeah, that That's the only thing that matters to me. So the deck consists of dark, psychic, metal, and dragon types. Actually, no metal types, but metal energies, due to the dragon type that I have in there. And it sounds like a massive variety of energy and cards that I could have, but it really just comes down to a handful of cards that are the dragon types that make it such an all over the place type deck. So I'm just going to list off a couple of my favorite cards from the deck itself, and that would be the Naganadel and Guzzlord GX. And the reason why that one's my favorite is because, so once during your turn with its ability, you are able to discard a Pokemon from your hand, and if you do, heal 60 damage from this Pokemon. So that's always really nice and useful, because its build-up is a little bit hectic. It needs one Psychic, one Dark, and then one normal energy for Jet Pierce, which is a 180 damage attack. And then for one energy, if this Pokemon has at least one extra energy, one extra Psychic, and one extra Dark energy attached to it, in addition to the attack's cost, I can take 2 prize cards. And that's without even having to faint the Pokemon that I'm up against. So that's a nice freebie for me if I absolutely need it. And so then, other than that, I also have Latios GX, which I'm a big fan of. But it is very bad if I get it in the very beginning of the game, and the reason why is that the ability is Power Bind. If I have 4 or fewer Pokemon in play, I can't attack with this Pokemon, which I'm not a big fan of that. However, it does have an ability called Tag Purge, which does 120 damage. It's 1 Psychic and 2 normal. During my opponent's next turn, I can prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Tag Team Pokemon. So Latios GX is invincible to Tag Team Pokemon, which can be very, very useful, because I believe Pokemon such as ADP are Tag Team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not being able to take damage from an ADP or a GG, the Giratina and Garchomp, that's always really nice, and I do love that. It also has a GX move for the rest of the game. Your opponent can't use any GX attacks, so I can shut that down if I notice that the person has a lot of GX Pokemon.
Could stop ADP's main GX move immediately if you get it.
So this card's basically to counter ADP whenever I see him. But if, like I said, if I start out with this Pokemon before I get more out on my side, I'm in a bad start. I feel most of my losses have come from pulling the Latios too early and not being able to follow up because I don't have enough Pokemon to actually use it. So then other than that, I've got actually 2 of these. I've got the Espeon and Deoxys GX. I've got 2 different graphics. They're both the promos, and I like them as well because they're really simple. It's only 1 Psychic and 2 normal energy for Psychic Club, which is the attack does 30 more damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So if I have 5 or 6 Pokemon on my bench, that's a lot of extra damage.
Is that Dark type or?
It is a Psychic type.
Okay.
So I then also can use the Cross Division GX move, which is put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. If this Pokemon has at least 3 extra energy attached to it, put 20 damage counters on them instead, which that's a good amount.
Yeah.
And so then other than that, one of my favorite cards, especially because of the graphic, is the Ultra Necrozma GX. It is when it's a full rainbow, it's a hyper rare, right?
Yeah. Secret rare, hyper rare. I believe that's the same deal.
Okay. So yeah, it's a hyper rare Ultra Necrozma GX, and it doesn't do a lot of damage, and it's a very nuanced and situational card, but when I can get it to work, it is so much fun. So for a Psychic and a Metal energy, I can use Photo Geyser, which is 20 plus, and then I discard all basic psychic energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 80 more damage for each card you discarded in this way, which that can be an immense amount of damage. Say if I even have 3 or 4 extra psychic energy that I can discard on this card, that's a lot of damage. And so he also has a GX move where it is a psychic and a metal energy, and you can use this attack only if the total of both players' remaining prize cards is 6 or less. Put 6 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon, which can be a lot of damage. It's not really the best GX move, but if I noticed the person I'm up against keeps pulling Pokemon back right before I kill them, if they have the opportunity to do so, and we're in the middle to late stage of the game, then I can easily throw Necrozma out and do a lot of damage that way. So that's really nice. But the basic gist of what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a good amount of ability cards, I wanted good survivability in terms of HP, and I wanted to have a good chance at using GX moves because they're very powerful, and having a whole slew of them really allows me to do a couple different things. It's if one avenue of approach isn't working for me, then I can use a different one. The only problem I have, and I'm sure anybody listening to this and who's more knowledgeable than I am, fully understands that this is a hard deck to get started with in the early game because of all of the different energies I have. So I currently have 4 psychic energies, or 14 psychic energies with a singular psychic horror energy. I have 3 metal energies. I have 5 dark energies. I have a rainbow energy, and then I have 2 twin double colorless energies. So from what I've seen, I am able to get my cards set up. The only problem is that if I get, the only reason why I have the metal energy in there in the first place is because of Necrozma, right? The only reason why I have the dark energy is I have a Toxicroak and a Krogunk in there, as well as the Guzzlord, the Naganadel and Guzzlord card.
Sableye.
And Sableye as well. Thank you for pointing that out. I wasn't looking at it. So not many of my Pokemon need the dark or the metal energy. So that can be a real inconvenience when I'm constantly, if I'm pulling those cards and I need a psychic energy, which most of my deck needs for their moves. So to kind of try and fix that, I've got a couple different trainer cards that can help me pull a good amount of energy, or at least pull out another Pokemon that I can use all this energy on. So I've got Kabu, which is I don't know, it's a full graphic Kabu card. I'm not sure if this is a hyper rare because it looks
I think it's just a full art.
full
Maybe.
art. Yeah, it's probably just a full art. But you shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 4 cards. If your active Pokemon is your only Pokemon in play, draw 8 cards instead, which can be really good when I was talking about Latios. If I pull a Kabu, then that's all I really need to get set back up and help myself out. I've got a couple heavy balls to be able to pull out. So I also have a Snorlax and a Snorlax VMAX. The heavy balls are really good for pulling them out when I need to. I have a Pokekid. I also have Fisherman, which is put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. That can really help out. I have a couple energy searches, an Eva Soda, and then a couple energy retrievals. So basically I'm playing around just trying to get all that energy, and then I'm having full faith in just being able to beat down the other person with the moves that all of my Pokemon have. It's almost like the same thing though that I've noticed that you said with Jill, wherein she does a lot of damage and she might want to cut back on that maybe a little bit. And you saying that kind of makes me feel the same way about mine. There's a lot of reliance on my Pokemon being able to just sit there and do damage, which isn't always going to be the case. But so far, so good, I guess. I mean, it's worked out for me, but
Yeah, I would say Yeah, definitely the same thing with Jill. You have a lot of huge, big fighting Pokemon in there. I mean, I do like the idea of you trying to fit in as many abilities as you can because, that kind of support can definitely come in handy no matter what it's for. But yeah, and then maybe somehow figure out how you can cut down on energy because 26 is definitely a lot. And I know you are switching up all different kinds of energy, but maybe if you can figure out how to just cut down on the psychic and then um, for trainers, just maybe some more draw support instead of like Hop, maybe like Professor's Research or Marnie's or something. But I do like the Kabu. I like the other stuff you got in there. It seems like a fun deck to play, especially for expanded. I've never played anything like it, so I don't have too much opinion. I like how you got the Cramorant in there and the Snorlax VMAX, some fun normal Pokemons to play. But yeah, overall, I like it. It seems like some fun to play with. So now we're gonna roll into what I brought to the table. I just got some standard decks here that I wanted to talk about, probably two that I have had the most fun playing overall. I'm gonna go through pretty much the whole deck list kind of quick, just if listening might want to try these decks out yourself. I find them to be quite effective. They're kind of a simple version of these popular decks, but I think they're very effective and they get me a lot of wins. So, first up, I have the Mad Party deck. I know we've talked about this a little bit in the past. Those Pokemon that came out in Darkness Ablaze, I believe, when they're in your discard, you do, I think, 20 damage for each one. They have the Mad Party move. It does 20 damage for each Pokemon that has the Mad Party move and is in the discard. So basically, the idea of this deck is to get as many of those into the discard as fast as possible and start racking up the damage. So first things first, obviously I have as much of the Mad Party Pokemon as you can have in the deck. I got 4 Bunnelbees, 4 Dedennis, I got the 4 Sinistes and Poltergeists, the Galarian Mr. Rhymes, and I feel like I'm missing one. Maybe not. Besides that, I have the 2 Orangaroos with the ability to switch the top card of my deck with one in my hand and kind of, predict what I'm gonna, or kind of make my next card something that I know I'm gonna pull next turn. But yeah, this is very helpful just for those times where you can even prey on pulling one extra card that you might need, and it might come in handy for you there. I got 2 Crobat Vs. I used to have 2 Dedenne GXs, but I switched it to 2 Crobat Vs and 1 Dedenne. Um, kind of due to some trading inconveniences, but still it works out just as good as 2 Dedennes did. But yeah, the Crobats are helpful for just pulling extra cards and, keeping the circulation of the evolutions and whatnot going and discarding those Pokemon. Because, for example, yeah, you have the Poltegeist from the Mad Party group, and it has the ability to discard a Party card from your hand, and then you get to draw 2 cards. So that also keeps the cycle just going and going. So you definitely want to make sure to get those set up as quick as possible. And then I have a Mew card in here, which prevents the bench Pokemon from getting damaged from the opponent's active attacks. And this comes in helpful. This comes in handy sometimes just due to the fact that I don't know, my Pokemon all have very low health. Bunnelby and Poltegeist being the main attackers, Bunnelby only has 40 health and Poltegeist has 60. So, I'm trying my best to protect them because they're usually getting one shot pretty much every time. But that's why I have, 8 of them to, have as many chances as possible. But yeah, those are the Pokemon in it. Pretty basic. I'm basically just trying to get the Bunnelbees and Poltergeists out and use the others to keep the deck cycling. I have 26 trainer cards in here. 2 ordinary rods, those are helpful for getting getting certain cards you need out of the discard again to use again. I got 2 Rose Towers, Stadium card where you can draw up to 3, just more draw power, 2 Boss's Orders, just in case I need to switch in something to get a certain amount of prize cards, just to get that one shot in. Got a Roxy, which I believe helps you draw more cards when a Pokemon of yours dies, got quick balls, 4 of those, 4 switches, 2 scoop up nets. Those come in handy just in case you need to, I don't know, save a Pokemon, or even you can use the Oranguru twice with the scoop up nets, so that comes in handy as well. I have 4 Professor's Research because that will, if I have a full hand of Mad Party Pokemon, I can use one of these and, discard all of those for the damage. I also have a full art Kabu as well. That's just helpful just in case you don't have the hand you want and you need different cards. It's like a Marnie, except it doesn't mess with your opponent. So, and then 4 Great Balls just to get the Pokemon I need. But the energy is really low on this one. All you're going to need in this deck is 4 Twin Energies and 4 Triple Accelerations. I used to try to have some fun with it and put some Horror Energy and just to throw on Poltergeists, but I realized that didn't really make sense and I don't need it. So I have 8 energies in here for my 8 attackers, giving them, 8 chances basically, but it works out. You're basically just trying to, discard your whole deck and get set up as fast as possible just to, get the high damage you need. I've gotten probably max around 280. I've hit in like 300 plus, but that's rare just because you're trying to keep the poltergeists and bumblebees alive, but if they die and you can't get them back, that's still extra damage to be done. So, yeah, that's the Mad Party deck. You guys got any opinions on that, Ian?
I've played against it once, and it can be pretty frustrating playing against it because the whole purpose is to discard that person's cards. So the more you get out of the way, the more
Right.
potential damage they have to do to you.
Yeah, and I would say their only weakness is the low amount of energy you have. If you play a lot of crushing hammers against them or, something to just get that energy off, that's basically the main way to tear them out as fast as possible. You got any opinions on the Mad Party, Jill?
Yeah, I remember the first time I played against one, I was really confused because, all I see was all these really, again, low health Pokemon, 40, you know, 40 hit points, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I was like, why are they discarding all their cards? And then they did a high amount of damage to my Pokemon, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. And this was before Keegan actually made his Mad Party deck. This was a little bit ago, but then I remember explaining it to him. I was like, I had this crazy game, and this person was putting away all these cards, and they ended up doing a lot of damage, and it was taking so much time because, when you get into these decks, a lot of it is, taking down cards, switching cards, putting it back instead of just doing the main damage. You rely heavily off of your trainers and the abilities that these Pokemon have. But yeah, I remember being like, wow, that I'd never seen anything like that before, and it truly is a unique deck to play compared to the other main standard decks that I've seen. Um, because of the fact that, again, you rely so heavily off of discarding your Pokemon. So if you have a big GX or V card, they can take you out pretty quickly if they're building up. So you really do want to try to get, 6. It's not like you're going against another deck that you're going against a V or GX where you can take, or even a tag team where you can take 2 cards from them for your prize cards. It's 1 each, so it takes so much time, doing a single Pokemon card that is only worth 1 prize card. You want to, again, try to get, and if you can try to get the benched Pokemon, it helps a lot, but, Keegan does have something in here that does help, and that is a pain.
Yeah, I would definitely say this deck is a lot of fun to play. I know when I first saw it, it got my eye because of that reason. GX's tag teams and the VMAXs are all losing 3 prize cards for 1, knockout. So I thought something where they could only use 1 prize card knockouts might save me some time. And then I've also noticed when I'm playing the deck, I don't pay attention to what the opponent has. I'm just working on what I'm trying to do, and my turns could possibly take up to like 5, 10 minutes just because I have so many different things I can just keep cycling my turn and getting more cards just because almost every card in this deck just helps that. But yeah, I'm not really paying attention to what the opponent has built up because it doesn't matter to me really. I have 40 health, 60 health. I know they're going to one-shot me anyway if they can get the energy to do it. So I'm just trying my best to get the damage up and, send it out as fast as possible. It's a lot of fun to play. But moving on, I also wanted to talk about my Eternatus deck. I've been playing a lot recently. I think I'm going to be playing it in the team challenge coming up soon. But basically in this deck, your main goal is to get as many dark Pokemon on the bench as possible. With Eternatus V Max, you're able to hold up to 8, as people may know. But with that, it does 30 damage plus 30 for each one on the bench. So that's a lot of damage added up when you get all 8 on the bench there. And with the deck I have built here, it happens relatively quick. Sometimes I have a little trouble getting the energy I need, but other than that, I've noticed I'm getting set up, within the first 2 or 3 turns. But with this one, obviously I got the 4-4 VMAX line for Eternatus. I got 4 Vs and 4 VMAXs just to, help my chances of pulling them out the most. I have 3 Crobat Vs, and you have to also have every Pokemon be dark in this deck for the VMAX move to actually work. It only applies to dark Pokemon. But yeah, I have the 3 Crobat Vs for all that draw power. I have 4 Galarian Zigzagoons. Those are fun to play with the scoop up nets and just constantly throwing them down because it adds up in damage each time, just putting down that 10 damage on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Because some things like ADP, for example, one of the biggest threats in the standard format, has 280 health. If I have all 5 or all 8 dark Pokemon on my bench and I just put one Zigzagoon down, putting them down to 270, that lets me one shot an ADP just with 2 energy. So that's very effective, just having those Zigzagoons in just to get that little bit of damage I might need to one shot things. I have 2 different Hoopas. The one from Darkness Ablaze and the other one I'm not sure, I forget which one that's from, but they both have their specific abilities. I know the one it does more damage for your opponent's abilities, and then the other one is just a 1 energy attack that I think you have to switch them up to the bench to use. But those are helpful just in case, those Pokemon I face that can't be hit by GXs or Vs or VMAXs. That comes in handy. I threw a Sableye V in here just because I think they're a fun Pokemon to play, and just in case I ever need to resort to that, I think that'll be fun. As it does more damage for the damage counters on the Pokemon, so that can add up and do a lot of damage. But that's the Pokemon in the deck. I have 32 trainers in here. First one starting off with the Viridian Forest. It's a stadium card just allowing you to discard a card and pull an energy. That's just there just in case I can't get the energy. I am only running 10 energy, so it does come common where I need to get that 1 energy out. I also have 4 Marnies. We know what that does. It makes your opponent shuffle, take 4, you take 5. 4 Quick Balls, 3 Professor's Research, 4 Boss's Orders, 2 Pokemon Communications. That is where you can put 1 Pokemon back in your deck and grab any kind of other Pokemon. I got 2 Air Balloons, which lowers the retreat costs. It's a tool. I have a Black Market Prism Star card, which I thought was really cool when I first learned about it. It's a stadium card, but what it does is when your Pokemon that's dark has a dark energy attached, the opponent that knocks you out takes 1 less prize card. So, my VMAXs, they'll only take 2. So that comes in handy a lot if that actually is out in play. I have 4 scoop up nets for the Zigzagoons, 3 turbo patches where if you flip a heads, you can put an energy out from your discard onto one of your Pokemon. I think it has to be a basic though. And then 4 great balls. And then the energy for it, I have 1 capture energy just in case I need to capture one of those Pokemon that I'm not getting at the time. 7 darkness energy, the normal dark energy. And then I have 2 hiding energy, which it counts as dark energy, and it also gives me no retreat cost. So yeah, overall, this Eternatus deck has been a lot of fun to play. It comes common where people will just forfeit when they see me getting set up really fast, but I've come across a lot of fun battles playing this and a lot of intense ones too. But yeah. Any opinions on this one, Ian?
Uh, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like you unpacked it pretty well. So I think it's a really well made deck, and I could see some dubs just
Oh
using
yeah,
that.
for sure. You Joe, you got any opinions on the Eternatus?
Yeah, I've seen you. You've been playing this deck quite a bit. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've played against Keegan with this deck with my Set of Scorch deck. I've again had a lot to learn from, but still, he's done some crazy moves with it. Especially once you get down and you're allowed to put all your cards down. And it's really annoying because you do have the Zigzagoons in here, so and with the scoop up next, you can pick up the Zigzagoon and then put it down again, and it just does damage to your bench Pokemon, or well, any Pokemon, but usually the bench ones, and it's just an annoying card being played, especially when you have those scoop up next. But yeah, I mean, I know this is a very solid deck, and
Oh yeah,
like I
it's a
said,
lot of fun.
I've seen you play it, and I played against you, and it's
Yeah,
been
surprisingly, Jill's fire deck does go back and forth with this thing, but same with ADP too. Her fire deck isn't as bad as you would think. I mean,
oh,
sorry,
that was the talking about my Sun Scorch VMAX deck when
true,
we
but you do.
played.
Yeah, I know that too. I mean, but no, your normal fire expanded deck does match fairly well against these pretty top tier decks, so that's awesome. Another thing I wanted to say about Eternatus is that I know people are playing the variants with the Crogunks and I think, yeah, just the Crogunks where it just adds poison and just it like, I don't know, you're taking like 70 damage from poison or something like that because of their ability. And I was thinking about using that, but the only reason I didn't is because I've faced that exact deck with this one, like an Eternatus deck with those Crogunks, and I've beat them. So I just have more hope on this one. But yeah, that was the Eternatus deck I wanted to talk about. And then lastly, for TCG Talk today, I recently picked up the new Vivid Voltage Charizard theme deck, and it's been a lot of fun. And I just wanted to talk about how crazy and actually overpowered it's been against the other decks we've built for the family here in the Little Battle Academy. And those are edited up too. We have a Surfetch deck like the one I played in the tournament last week, but it has a Sandaconda V card and a little bit more adjustments. And we were playing the Charizard theme deck against it, and it was just trashing it. It doesn't even need a V or a GX. That Charizard card in the Vivid Voltage, with the capability of being able to discard Leons and do more damage, is just nuts. And then I imagine if you can get 4 Leons in a deck, oh my God, I wouldn't want to face that. But yeah, Jill got her hands on that deck a little bit too. Do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, I believe. I don't know if it was when we were playing the Battle Academy box, if it was the Battle Academy Charizard one, or if it was the Surf Fetched one. But one of the ones I was going against you with, and I was playing the Charizard theme deck from Vivid Voltage. That thing just it does feel overpowered compared to these other decks, and like I said, the Battle Academy one that one's already pre-made. It's not adjusted at all or anything, and it still was just destroying it with its move. And that one has a Charizard that does that's the Charizard that I was talking about that I wanted in my deck that does the adding extra energy and whatever. But this Charizard in the Vivid Voltage, you only need 2 fire energies. Most of the time I've had my hands on, playing Charizard cards, you need like 3 or 4 to make a decent move, usually up to 4. But for 2 energies plus being able to discard the Leons, most of these cards too in these decks aren't high, they don't have at the high hit points. It may be the V cards that the Battle Academy comes in. I think the highest is 180. But yeah, that still you can do if you already have damage on that card, or you have those 2 Leons in the thing. You're basically taking out all of the cards that these theme decks and again the Battle Academy decks come with.
Yeah, so this Charizard is definitely universal for Pokemon. I mean, the Royal Blaze move, it does 100 damage for 2 energies, and it does 50 more for each Leon card in your discard pile. And that is a new trainer card that was released recently in Vivid Voltage as well. And what that does is it lets you do 30 more damage for that turn. So even if you can't get it in your discard, you can still use it and do more damage that way too. So there's just, I don't know, so much you can do with this card. And then it also has an ability called Battle Sense where you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then put one of them into your hand and discard the others, giving you more chances to discard those Leons. So this is making me crave wanting to build a Charizard deck of my own online and get 4 Leons in there. So hopefully we pull a good amount of those in the Vivid Voltage booster box we're getting soon, because I want to build a crazy Charizard Vivid Voltage deck. But yeah, that was TCG Talk for this week, guys. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed the show so far. We're going to get into some card openings now. Today I have a Sword and Shield base set. I'm going to go first, and Jill has a Burning Shadows pack. So here we go with a Sword and Shield.
I want to guess Psychic Energy.
Ooh, white code card. What's your guess, Ian?
Water.
Okay. So we got JG2, R96Z, Q9P, 94Y. And you said water and what, Jill?
Psychic.
Psychic. We have a Steel.
Oof.
Ian is losing that streak. Going into a Raboot. Shout out to Jill's Fire deck. Got a Hop. Shout out to Ian's funky deck. Pokegear. Silly Cobra. Blipbug. Got a Goldeen. A Yamper. Skorupi. Nickit. And a Lapras V, a beautiful Lapras V. Ooh. Shout out to Jill's water guess. Oh wait, no, Jill guessed Psychic. Shout out to Ian's water guess. That's pretty though. I love the Lapras V. I don't know if I actually have one yet, so
I
sweet.
love Lapras in general.
I know, Lapras is an amazing Pokemon. Shout out to you, Lapras.
It's a good pool.
Yeah. Alright, our pulls are getting better as we've gone on through the show. Can't deny that. Alright, Jill, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm opening up a Burning Shadows. Let's hope this isn't going to be difficult. It's not.
I'm guessing electric here.
I'm gonna go grass.
And for our code for the Burning Shadows pack is P7044HX Z9V XGX. And we're gonna. And we have a Fairy Energy.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like the Fairy Energy. Don't come across those that much. Our first card is a Wobbuffet, a Wick, a Sviper?
Yep. Sviper.
Okay. A Marill, Rhyhorn, Sandygast, Hoot Hoot, a Tangela, Reverse Hollow Magikarp, and a regular Meowstic. Meowstic. I'm saying that right.
Okay.
So yeah, nothing. I like this Magikarp. I like water Pokemon a
So it
lot.
definitely took the dub this week.
Yeah, finally.
I know.
That's
And
awesome
next
though.
week, me and Ian will both have our Vivid Voltage booster boxes, so we'll do a little, fun Vivid Voltage opening that week. So yeah, those were our card openings this week. Now we're gonna roll into what did Jirachi do this week? So not too much. Basically, we've been trying to let him sleep in the bed more often now. He usually is pretty comfy in the crate, but we're trying to let him hit new levels of life. So we just wanted to talk about how some have succeeded, sleeping in the bed, and most have failed. But basically, I try to, he cries and wants to, get in bed. So I try to, he's crazy first of all, but I try to give him a bone, and it calms him down for about 20 minutes. Me and Jill will be watching a show or something. But as soon as the bone is gone and devoured, this man just comes charging over. He'll just stomp all over Jill's laptop. He'll start biting on the cords, and he's just not the best snuggler. What do you think, Jill?
Yeah, Keegan has this like soft spot for Jirachi in bed, and every night he goes, "Oh, well, he's gonna be good tonight. He's a good boy, I promise." Well, that's not the case. Because he'll be, like he said, he'll be fine. He'll start, calming down with his bone or his toys in bed. But as soon as I start falling asleep, he steps on me. He tries to go. We have a like little heater thing next to our bed, and I have stuff on top of it. And he tries to get the stuff off the top of that and chew on it. He's walking all over me. He's stepping on my head. He's biting the hair. He's chewing. If me and Keegan are watching a show, I have my laptop in bed. He's chewing on the laptop. He's ready to just tear things up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but even when Jill's asleep sometimes, he'll just be looking at me with those eyes, so I'll try to let him snuggle, and then as soon as I put him on the bed, he just goes over and stomps on her and tries to wake her up, so doesn't look good in my case. But yeah, that was what did Jirachi do this week. Not too much, but we just had to explain how this man's been doing overnight. But we're going to go into our second to last segment of the day. We got GottaCatchEm'All Pokemon Products. I'm going to start off today. For my Pokemon product, I wanted to talk about the Alakazam V-Box. Now, the release date for this, on GameStop at least, it might be released sooner elsewhere, but on January 8th, 2021, I'm pretty sure it'll be released sooner than that elsewhere. But basically, you're getting a full foil promo card featuring Alakazam V, and this is the new Alakazam V from Vivid Voltage. A lot of people were hype about this because we haven't seen these cards too often recently. Everybody knows about well, I don't know if everybody knows, but there was a whole ordeal with Kadabra, and apparently they made him look too similar to a real person, and I don't know. I don't know. They got sued or something like that, and they didn't make Kadabra cards for a very long time or something. But I don't know. People are just happy to see these Alakazam full arts and anything similar to him. But basically, you're getting that card, a promo version of it, and then you're getting a oversized version of it as well. And then you're also getting 4 Vivid Voltage packs at a price of $20. So that's not bad. If you're thinking, $5 a pack, it's just a little bit extra on the side because I know people like collecting those big cards sometimes. I put them in my binder and they look nice. So, yeah, that was my Pokemon product. What do you got today, Ian?
So for my Pokemon product, I chose the Pokemon TCG Collector Chest of Fall 2020. You can buy it for $24.99, and it comes with a couple of really cool things that can further increase your Pokemon inventory. Let's say. So first of all, you get a nice little. It looks like a lunchbox. I mean, I'm sure you could use it as one. And on the front of it, you have the Gigantamaxed Charizard and Pikachu. So it's a mix between Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage. But inside is where the cool things happen. So you get 5 Pokemon TCG booster packs, each Sword and Shield series and Sun and Moon series booster pack. And then you have each XY series booster pack. So along with that, you get 3 foil promo cards featuring Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon. You get a nice Gigantamax Charizard coin. You get 4 colorful sticker sheets, a mini portfolio with the Gigantamax chunky Pikachu on it, and that can store up to 60 cards, a Pokemon notepad, and then a code card for the Pokemon TCG online game. So, not a bad deal for $24. $25.
Yeah, and it looks like a sweet lunchbox too or something.
Yeah, take that to work and everybody will be jealous.
Oh yeah. What do you got, Jill?
So, for this week, it's actually something that Keegan surprised me with from GameStop. And it's a Pokemon themed advent calendar for Christmas time. And for each day, if you're not familiar with this, there's things that people do. It's like a holiday tradition where each day, usually it's like a candy or, I don't know, maybe a little gift or something, counting to the days of Christmas to the 25th. But this one is a Pokemon themed one, and it has little Pokemon figures in it. And I'm really excited. I didn't see what it shows you on the back of the box, what figures come in it, but I don't want to know because I don't want to be spoiled, because I want to be surprised. Even though they're not numbered for what days there are, still, I don't want to know what figures I'm getting because like I said, I want to be surprised. I want to be able to see, whenever me and Keegan open it, what day we were getting. And it's awesome because, I mean, we both love the little figures. I have a whole table full of, little figures. That's probably my favorite part of, with collecting Pokemon stuff is I just love figures and, the stuffed animals and all that fun side of things. But yeah, I believe he got it for $40. That's not bad for considering that you're getting 24 figures, one a day. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited to open it. It gives us something fun to do to get in the holiday spirit once it's December 1st. And yeah, and Keegan's birthday's in December, so it's going to be exciting to see he gets a little extra something on his birthday.
True. And yeah, nothing's better than blending Christmas and Pokemon, am I right? But yeah, I was at GameStop the other day and, I went in and I saw 2 of these boxes there. And then I didn't realize they actually are pretty sought after. I mean, it's not even really near Christmas yet. We still have a whole month from today's recording date, pretty much. I mean, a month and a week about. But yeah, I mean, they had 2 left in stock, and then I heard that they had some reserved for people. So I was lucky enough to pick one up, and I thought it would be a lot of fun, just to blend 2 of my favorite things, in one. And I don't know, Christmas time is great. So I had to cop it, make Christmas more fun. But yeah, those were our Pokemon products for this week. Definitely some cool stuff, but we're going to go into the last segment of the day, our Pokemon trivia segment. Last week we asked you guys, what is the most common type of Pokemon? And the answer to that is, with 133 Pokemon so far, water type are the most common. So shout out to Lapras, our pool of the day, because water is taking a dub. This week for trivia, we are going to be asking you guys, how can you break a Ditto's disguise? Ditto is a very powerful Pokemon and can transform into other Pokemons, but what can stop him from doing this? And even people. How do you break that disguise? We'll let you know next week. But yeah, that'll pretty much be a show. I want to thank you guys for listening. Just a reminder, we have an email you guys can message, and if you ask us questions or even, I don't know, some things you want to tell us about your life or anything, we'll mention it on the show. You can email us at pokepodcastmon@gmail.com. That's POKE podcastmon at gmail.com. Also, for Apple, Spotify, anything like that, if you like what you're listening to and appreciate what we're doing, can you leave us a five star? Because, we'll love that. And the more you guys rate us and get us up there, the more often you'll see us near the top of Pokemon. So that'll be very helpful for us if you guys like what we're doing. But that'll pretty much be a show. Make sure to check us out on anchor.fm as well, /PokéNoob podcast. All our platforms are there. If you have a certain platform you like listening to, Google Podcast, whatever. So yeah, I guess that'll be a show. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week.